Hey now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this evening's broadcast. My name is Blaine Donlin, joined here with Rod Weston. Tonight you're watching the End Gun Violence 120 miles here at the brand new Fluid Raceway in honor of Canon Blake Hinnant. Rod, you got me, bud?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Glad to do this again. We did this, you've been doing it, or they've been doing it for 5 years. It's my second year doing it. Great event, neat track. Can't wait to see these guys hit the track, and we'll have a lot of fun with it tonight.
So I guess the man of the hour, we're just going to hand it straight over to Brian Wolf. He's created some videos and some stuff for the broadcast this evening. So, Brian, if you're available to talk about what we're doing here tonight, it's all yours, buddy.
I am, man. Thanks so much, and welcome, you guys. Welcome, everybody. Tonight really is. Can you believe it, Blaine? That we're here already. That we're still here already. You know, this race and this event has been in the making now for about 8 months. This is the 5th annual, and I just want to welcome everybody and thanks so much for coming out. While we're here, we're going to give a little bit of history. Back in 2020, a beautiful little boy named Canon Hinnant was murdered by a neighbor and tragically ended his life with gun violence. And that's why we do this race. That's why we're here now. I kind of had a really good relationship built with him and his family, and I want to go right into some of the sponsors of this event. Ellie and Archie Aycock own Aycock Rental Properties, and this is actually Canon's aunt and uncle. So they reached out to me about 4 years ago and decided, you know, they were interested in getting Canon involved in my racing, because I was incorporating him into my race cars and stuff like that and doing different things. So from there, it's really grown into what we're going to see here today. This track especially was created by a very talented guy named John Godfrey. Now, like I said, we've been putting this race on for, this will be the 5th one. And we did it at various tracks. The first one was California. Then I think we did a Daytona. We did 2 Talladegas. And then last year we did Michigan, which this brand new racetrack facility we had built just in honor of Canon and this event tonight. When we look around the track, and you're about to see a video that introduces you to the track, you're going to see a lot of his things here, a lot of his monuments, replicas of his monuments. The Wilson Miracle League's Canon Hinnant Field is right on the infield grass. His mural that was painted by Abstract Descent down there in Wilson is here. We have a bunch of his billboards to show you. Excuse me. And I'm losing my voice already. So we want to introduce the track here first and tell a little bit, you know, it tells you a little bit about Canon, and all of his cars are here tonight too, man. We have got the coolest paint schemes that you're ever going to see. And not only that, but we've got the best racers. I have collected the best racers who've supported me and supported this race and Canon and his family over the last few years. And tonight is just going to be a great event. Blaine, you and I met about 4 years ago and did the first one. Well, not the first one, but like the second or one. And that's kind of how you and I built our relationship, and how Tarnation TV kind of kicked off. And there's some people that know that history, some don't, but you know, it's always a pleasure to have you guys broadcast in this race and this event, because you know his story and stuff, and it's just in remembrance of him. That's the most important thing to me, is that he not be forgotten, he not just become another statistic. You know, I just can't say enough about his family, and like Ellie and Archie. And I don't know if you have the picture, Blaine, if you want to throw up that picture. This past week, as a group, collectively, we want to send out our deepest and most heartfelt condolences to Archie Aycock, who lost his brother here this past week to a sudden illness. And we couldn't just be more heartbroken. In fact, I considered postponing this event. I spoke to Ellie this past week, and And she said, absolutely not, for Cannon, the show must go on. Don't worry about it. Go ahead with your thing. So we wanted to give, our deepest condolences to Archie. Those guys have really committed to this event, and they've invested so much in me personally. And, in my race, they got me through my surgery this past year. And I had some health issues myself and stuff. And all these guys, if we don't have any of these components, this race just doesn't happen. So our deepest condolences to the Aycock family and Archie. We're thinking about you, buddy, and we hope you're watching tonight, and we hope you enjoy the race. And thank you guys so much for being a part of all this. Ellie and Archie have been just a conduit for me to get closer to Cannon, and they brought him closer to me. I went down and visited the first year. In fact, I met his family a year to the day after Cannon tragically lost his life, and went to his vigil and saw the things that were happening, and got to see firsthand what this can do to a community. So thank you guys, Ellie and Archie. Thank you guys so much for everything that you've done for me. We're going to go ahead and introduce the track. This is, like I said, was made by a very talented guy, John Godfrey. He was working on this actually without complaint. I know what it's like working with me.
Yeah.
Actually, while I was in the hospital, he was working on this. I had some major abdominal surgery this past year, as you know, back in September, and this project has been in mind, and I just can't believe that we're here now. 5 years ago, right before I met Cannon, or knew who Cannon was, I was ready to give up my racing. I was ready to hang it up. And then I saw his story, and it gave me a purpose to race. And I started, getting to know his family and blah, 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 blah. The history there. Excuse me. So this track, I wanted to include all the things, a lot of the good things that come out of this tragedy. His mother, Bonnie Parker, and his daddy Lee and his brothers and sisters and that whole family has just given back so much to that community through this. And one of the things is actually that you're going to see is Cannon Hinnant Field, like I said, through the Miracle League's Wilson Metro Parks, and you're going to see a copy of his mural and all the billboards and all the cars with, the stuff that he loved. So if you want to go ahead and cue up that video, Blaine, I need a break from talking.
Yeah, no problem. Here it is. Brian made this video, so here he is, a little track tour for you.
this first pitch. We've got two of our athletes helping Miss Bonnie Parker. Bonnie, how far do you want to move up? We're about midway. She's a former softball player, so we know she has an arm. All right, they'll stand beside her and help her out. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Well, there it is, track tour. I noticed you guys got Tarnation TV studios out there. We've got our own actual facility now. We're not just in a Tarnation TV Winnebago. We actually have a real studio. So we finally have a home here at Fluid. We broadcast all our races from here.
That is so cool. So yeah, there you have it. Yeah, we gave you your own facility, and there's a lot of stuff around the track that John included for me, actually, personally. Parker's restaurant that we just absolutely love to eat at down there. I got funny stories I could tell you if I had time about that. Ellie, because I didn't quite know how to order. You know, up here we call it pulled pork up in the north, and to the south of us, they just call it barbecue, right? So I didn't know that. So
yeah, I would need to know that too.
So
I know pulled pork.
So Miss Ellie finally kind of got frustrated and said, "Just order what I get." She, you know. So
anyway, get two of this, and you can eat mine.
Right? Yeah. So that was that. So that was that. But what a wonderful place to eat. It just happens to be called Parker's. You know, Bonnie and Lee Parker. It's not their restaurant, but it just carries the same name. But really, really good food there. And also, John added the Cleveland Clinic. The Cleveland Clinic infield care center for me, since I was in Cleveland Clinic when he was actually building the track. Yeah, and I was communicating with him through phone. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to talk to him a little bit later. But yeah, all the stuff around the track is cool. I wanted to include all the stuff that you know, that Canon stood for, you know, and the cars, the paint jobs, all you know, we'll get to those in a few minutes. But especially want to thank too ASR, All-Star Racing League. You know, the billboards of all their all-star drivers are placed around the track as well, past and present. And it really is a dedication to them as well. You'll see their logos in the grass. This track really belongs to them. You know, it belongs to me and Canon, but it really belongs here at home at ASR. So I really appreciate all these guys, not only for that, but for putting on this event, having me race over there in the regular point series and all that stuff. You know, I know I'm going to forget somebody tonight, you know, that I need to thank, because there's about 1 million components that need to come together to make this happen. And a lot of those components are on the track right now. So we can just go right into that. Let me whisper to somebody and have, the other thing too, Gary Heiser drives the number 3 car, normally drives the number 3 car. So tonight, in honor of Archie's brother, Dennis, we put ACOC rental properties on that Good Wrench car, because they were all Dale Earnhardt fans. And, you know, over the last couple of years, I think that Gary Heiser has really done that number justice, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
as far as driving that iconic number 3. So, you know, the ACOCs were all, you know, super big Dale Earnhardt fans. So we did that to honor him too. So if I don't know if you could get a camera on that car, but we're gonna start. Okay, running down because I can't see what you're seeing. I just see my screen here. But so then actually, there's a couple of sponsors coming on that I really need to talk about. Brittany Cole runs a Facebook page called Save Our Kids. And it started off with Canon and stuff, you know, all about his trial and that. And it really grew into the bottom line mission statement there is they do a lot of updates for like missing kids and stuff like that, you know, exploited kids. So the bottom line there is save our kids. You know what I mean? We're missing too many. We're losing too many kids just for whatever reason, especially gun violence. And, you know, we just need to stop that. The other sponsor on these two cars that I'm about to mention is Teresa Welch. Runs the Ride On Cannon Foundation. And what this group does is they provide backpacks, school supplies, bikes, toys, meals and food, and just all kinds of things for underprivileged children that you can donate to. It's a nonprofit organization, and it's run by Teresa Welch, and Cannon's mother, actually, Bonnie Parker, helps run that. So that's a thing you can research and, you know, and give back. So we have, let's see. So that's going to be Garland Oaks in the number 67 and Greg Palmer in the number 22. John Godfrey, who I want to talk about again, the track builder and editor, this is going to be his fourth, I believe, appearance in this race. And he drives Cannon's Hubba Bubba Bubble Tape. That was his favorite candy, the gum that he chewed and stuff. And if you see pictures of Cannon's gravesite soon after had just, you know, a ton of stuffed animals and that Hubba Bubba tape, you know, that he liked so much. And a couple of his pictures, you can actually see him chewing it. But Mike Mangialardi, 029, guy I've raced with the last couple of years, actually. He shares my number. Tonight, he's 029. When I race with him on the weekends, I'm 029, and he shares my number. So we've kind of gone back and forth on that a little bit throughout the couple of years. But he is actually driving the number 029 SOTS car, SOTS, and that stands for Stomping Out the Stigma. It's another nonprofit run by a very good friend of mine, Tim Roberto, who's an addiction counselor as well. But this group offers free counseling to first responders whose mental health may have been compromised for whatever reason, PTSD, you know, addiction issues, you know, just burnout, you know, different things. And it's not reported back to any agencies. It doesn't affect any life insurance policies. It's all free of charge. And, you know, like I said, it's all anonymous. So if you're struggling, reach out is what they want me to tell you. Tim Roberto runs that, and we appreciate him being here tonight. Okay, let's talk about Nate Balser. Nate Balser drives, you know, Cannon loved animals, and his race car he's always raced for the ASPCA. So it was a very perfect fit for this race since Cannon loved animals so much. So I wanted to put some pictures of Cannon on his cars where it shows him, you know, holding kittens and stuff like that. I don't know if you can get a camera on him. Graham McDonald is actually filling in for Nate, who's on the IRL. He's had some health issues here over the last few weeks. He's unable to race with us tonight. I can tell you that he is very, very missed. I enjoy racing with this guy every single week. In fact, in a few minutes, you're going to meet his family, our track announcers, introduction kids, like we've done in the past. So that's that whole thing. Now, I do apologize if I'm trying to get all this unpacked. I got so much stuff to go over here, and I apologize if I've forgotten anybody. But another person I want to talk about is where are we at here?
Another substitute driver, I believe it was.
Yeah, we were supposed to have a sub for, I'm sorry, Todd Wilson. Gosh, Todd Wilson, number 11.
In the 11, yeah.
In the 11 car, drives the Miracle Fields baseball car. And he finished second in this race last year, and put on just one hell of a performance. I can see these guys out here in practice right now. They're having a blast out here. Yeah, he put on one heck of a performance. I am really rooting for him because, again, you know, just that Wilson Miracle Fields, Cannon Hinnant Field. You'll see his scoreboard actually on the back of the garage area. I don't know if you've seen that part yet, Blaine, or not, but that car has got to be in this race, just like Nate Balser's car. I needed that ASPCA car. In this, you know, all these goodwill causes and stuff are just coming together. And this race has really just outgrown me and Cannon, you know. It's still, you know, all about him and remembering him. But to see all these people coming out with these cars is just absolutely incredible. to see all these great racers out here with these. And I'm just going to go down through the list here of who you're going to see tonight and their sponsors, if that's all right.
Yeah, man, floor is yours. There's a lot of awesome paint jobs out here too.
Oh yeah, they're just killing it this year. Oh, and Bernie Mobs, I got to mention him. Oh my God, if I would have forgot him, geez, oh man, Bernie Mobs. Out of the 26, 25 cars you're going to see tonight, Bernie Mobs probably painted 20 of them. He's been working with me, yeah, and he's another guy that I really got to.
Question I was going to ask, who painted most of them, but yeah.
Yeah, he painted like 20 of these cars. I lost count after a while, and he's been working with me on these paint jobs for these guys for the last few months, and he just bangs them out. And it's just, you know, some of them were painted last year, some of them are brand new for this year, but man, what an awesome spectacle this is going to be. Rodney Sullins, actually, let me mention him too. He just won the PRL Saturday Night Shootout championship last night. So we were all rooting for him to do that, and he went out and did it, and we really had a good time with him last night. But he's also an excellent painter. He's painted a lot of my cars in the past, and he's probably, I'm sure he painted his for tonight, the Joker, and Ken Roberts, actually another great guy, another great driver, is driving the Wounded Warriors Project car tonight that he painted. And also he painted, I got to mention this too, the car we were just talking about, Nate Balser, his ASPCA car, he painted that one. So these cars are just tremendous, man. I can't believe the support we're getting. This is incredible. So we're what time are we at? So we're at 7:53. So I think we got time. So I'm just going to run down through these cars. If they're on the track, if you can get on them, that's fine. If not, we'll see them throughout the race. So starting with 00, Kelly Causey, which I got to mention him too. He just had the Team Elmo race here a couple weeks back, I think on the 12th.
Yep.
And we all enjoyed that so much, and they raised a lot of money for that awful ALS disease. And it was such an honor to race in that. You know, he's been in a couple of these too over here for me, and it wouldn't be the same without him. So what we did this year for him was we put him in Cannon's Crocs car. Cannon wore Crocs all the time. He wore them Crocs everywhere he went. They were camouflage in color. So we did a car that looked just like his shoes. And with the bright orange numbers on it, that car really, really stands out. It's really cool. Cannon's got some neat stuff here. I don't know who he's going to be rooting for tonight because there's just so many. Looks like Ulysses has showed up. Okay, yeah, he's here. Okay. So next we have in the 3, we already mentioned Gary Heiser in the ACOC Goodwrench machine. Okay. Oh, number 7, Nelson Rodriguez. He's our admin for tonight, and he's really helped me with putting this whole thing together and pushing the buttons and everything for me. I want to touch on him because he is actually driving the number 7 Wilson Police Department car, and it looks just like one of their paint schemes. He's sitting on pit road right now. He's taking off. Yeah, he's taking off there now, going off pit road. But I got to mention him because he is driving in honor of MJ Harrison, Officer MJ Harrison of the Wilson Police Department. And who this man is, I'm not going to go into any great detail. But this guy is a hero in my eyes. He was the first responder, one of the first responders on scene with Cannon when he was injured. And he held on to Cannon and told him and begged him to just hold on for his mommy, just hold on for his mommy. He comforted him and was with Cannon in his last moments. So this guy is a true hero. He needs to be honored. I always wear his badge on my paint jobs. Every one of them, you'll see his badge on my back pillar.
And that's a great paint scheme. Like the thing just looks like a police car, straight up.
Yeah, it's really cool. And that's a tribute to him and all the first responders down there in Wilson. That whole department. They treated the family so well, and they're just heroes in my eyes, and they need to be recognized as such. And like I said, I don't want to go into too much great detail about that, but that's why we did that for him. And that's the number 7. Number 11, Todd Wilson in the Miracle League's car. We went over him. Number 12, Gary Mingus. There's a Mingus among us. is driving the breast cancer awareness car. Okay, number 18, ASR member Chuck Taylor. This is his first appearance tonight. Is driving the Iron Man car, one of Cannon's favorites. Randy Waugh, number 21, is driving the Spider-Man car. Because we have, let me go over to, I'm going to jump down here to David Chin, league owner and our head admin here, who was gracious enough. Actually, I got to thank him actually tremendously because for letting me use the server, putting the track here, bringing the track here, bringing this event here to ASR, using the TeamSpeak and all that goes with that has just been more than gracious and just left it in my hands. He didn't, this is, my event. It's not really a league sanctioned event, but he just left it all up to me and I appreciate that. But he is driving. That's why I wanted him in this car. The number 88 Marvel Comics featuring, I believe, I want to say Spider-Man, Iron Man, and the Hulk all at once. And that is a really sharp looking car, that 88. So now we're going to go back. I'm going to go back up here to Randy Waugh driving the Spider-Man car. We have all the individual superheroes too lined up for Cannon too. Billy Ellisor is in the Flintstones machine, I believe. I'm not quite sure what car he sent me, but last year it was Flintstones, so we'll go with that. Mike Mangialardi in the 029 driving the Stomp Out the Stigma for Tim Roberto. That's always a welcome feature. Now this next guy, number 31, Bernie Mobbs, is actually driving the End Gun Violence car. It matches mine for tonight. He painted both of these. We're on identical cars. He is number 31. I'm number 29. But he told me he wanted to drive that car because it was like his favorite one to paint. And that really made me feel good, And I believe Ed Dion has showed up. So we're going to go to him next. Or no, I'm sorry. Rodney Sullins, another awesome painter, number 38 in the Joker. Javier Negron, guy I've raced with the last couple of years, Mr. Aggressive, we've been calling him, is in the Flash car. That was one of Cannon's favorites too. As we said, number 55, Ken Roberts, is in the Wounded Warriors. Wounded Warriors Project. That's always a welcome feature here too. Our first responders and our men and women overseas are always welcome. Perry Bond in the number 60 is driving again this year for the third year in a row, I believe. Captain America, also another awesome racer. Number 72 from ASR, Wayne Maldinger, we call him Dinger, is in the Hulk. Now this car is just absolutely sick. This car is so awesome. I can't wait to put my number on this thing for next year, maybe. And I think if Cannon had a favorite one he was rooting for, it might just be that one. And it's just outstanding. That car, I love that one. Number 79, filling in for the injured Nate Balser, is Graham McDonald from PRL. And we mentioned, Ed Dion is in the Batman car that he painted himself, I believe. So that's really neat that he brought Batman. It was another one of Cannon's favorites. Ulysses Sandoval, I believe, is in a car called Green Shoes. I don't exactly know what that is. Like I said, I might have to yell at the foreign kid, but he's always he's always welcome here. And then, of course, John Godfrey. I believe this is his third or fourth appearance in the Hubba Bubble Tape. Excuse me. Robert Breedlove. And I'm sorry this is taking me so long. I'm trying to get through these. Robert Breedlove in the National Children's Hospital machine. He could probably explain more to you about what that's about, but obviously it's helping out kids, so we welcome that. Dennis McCarthy, newcomer to this event. In the 024, well, the number 24, you'll see. In the 024, Oodles of Noodles car for Cannon. According to Bonnie, his mother, that was his favorite thing to eat. And she told me on the phone one time that had she allowed it, he probably would have ate oodles and noodles for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day.
Hey, it's cheap, man. It's cheap stuff. It fills you up.
Cannon was not, I can tell you this, Cannon was not a high maintenance child. Let's put it that way. Number 99, Joshua Mercurio, also a newcomer to this. Number 99. He is in the Harley Davidson car this year, the BACA, which is Bikers Against Child Abuse. So that's a tough looking car too. We really like that one.
I've heard some great stories about BACA.
Yeah. So I think that is about it, Blaine. Have I left anything out? Who am I not talking about that I should be?
You said Perry Vaughn, but they didn't say Garland Oaks.
Garland Oaks. Yeah, Garland Oaks is. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You're right. He is in one of the. There's actually twin cars out there. I hope they're watching and listening. Number 67 is in the Ride On Cannon Foundation / Save Our Kids machine, and I am so proud to have those guys. I would encourage our viewers to seek them out and look at those groups, especially the Ride On Cannon Foundation. They're just doing so many great things for kids, in their communities, and like I said, they provide backpacks and school supplies and bikes. And I couldn't even tell you the numbers. Maybe they can type some of it out if they're watching. If they can type it out in the thing what their links and some of their mission statements are and goals and stuff. But I am going to send these guys. I'm going to go ahead and send these guys to qualifying, and we can talk over that a little bit. Is that all right?
That'll work, man. It's your event. Let it rip.
I'm whispering to you guys.
I just, yeah. Well, we can still hear you on the whisper on the broadcast. But yeah, I'm trying to get shots of all these cars during just in a slow-mo replay. Oh yeah, there's a lot of fantastic ones. Like you said, too, Mobs painted a lot of these things, so that's super good. I don't know what's up with the core that I'm using tonight. There seems to be like a Bermuda Triangle on the back straightaway. The cars kind of disappear for a half second, so that's why I put it into slow motion to try to get us pictures of some of these cars. But yeah, anytime you want to go to qualifying, man, let it rip. And always,
I just told Postal to send them to qualifying in about 1 minute.
I don't have the 88.
You don't have the 88?
The 88, I do not have.
Dave Chin?
No, I don't see it. I'm double checking right now.
Yeah, I think I had him.
Okay, so they're going to qualifying here in a minute.
Give me a second. My game just crashed. That's not good for me because I need to be in there for the qualifying. Just give me a sec. Once I'm in, I can reset it again. I just got to make sure my name's in that list.
Yeah, I don't have the 88 either. But you can breathe, Brian, a little bit. That was a lot to go through.
Everybody on the broadcast here, thank you very much for watching. Lots of interaction in the YouTube channel as always. Thanks for everybody. We're keeping an eye on all the messages coming through. There's Ellie in there. We've got Andrew Miller in there rooting for the 99 Packers
Nate
Town.
Balser's in there.
Is this track based on Auto Club? It's based on Michigan.
Yep.
So
I could say that too. The track is actually how this track came about is, see, Michigan would be my real life home track. That's the track I'm closest to. Pocono might be in there too, but Michigan is such a fun track. And that's what I kind of wanted to touch on a little bit. 5 years ago, I felt like I was on the outside looking in. I was watching these broadcasted races going, someday I'm going to be good enough to do that. You know what I mean? And look where we're at, Blaine. Here we are. I've got my own brand, Fluid Studios. We now have our own track.
You ever go back and
I'm
watch?
A track owner. You know what I mean? It's like unbelievable. You know what I mean? And it's all for Canon, and it's in this event, and he's brought me this far. You know what I mean? I got to thank him, especially Canon, for sticking with me. I don't know why he chose me, but I know he did. And
do you ever go back and? Do you ever go back and watch some of the original Tarnation broadcasts? They are brutal.
Oh yeah. We've really had a good time with it over the years.
Yeah,
I mean, trying out new things and trying to do it as professional as we can. I mean, we're up here winging it right now. I just know that I've forgotten somebody.
We can't say mention. ASR enough because All-Star Racing here, letting us the facilities and just letting you have just freedom to do what you got to do is amazing. And of course, like you said too, Godfrey retexturing Michigan for you, like all these little hidden nuggets on this track.
Oh,
I thought I found all of it, but I didn't. I forgot about the billboards on the back straightaway with all the different renders of the cars that are in this race. So this is a totally tailored track.
I think in the next video, we're going to go to qualifying here in a few minutes.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
I'm ready when you are.
Okay, you're ready? Okay.
Now, the next video will take us to the, we're going to use that video to take us to the green flag. So that'll be, it's the Balser, the whole, almost the entire Balser family be getting out there and doing the thing for us. So, gentlemen, start your engines. But before, we get there, there's a lot of people involved in that last video. So it'll be a lot of fun. And we'll be going green here shortly.
So we were talking about all the hidden stuff around the track, and that in this next video you're going to actually see the Wolfpack party bus. It's on the backfield. John put in there, and if you've got your full graphics on, you'll see the people hanging out around the party bus
on the back straightaway. On
the back straightaway. Yeah, you'll see it in the video.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I might have to get the drone out and go fly around and see if I can find it.
Shows a bunch of stuff, but we're going to have the Balser kids invite us to. Yeah, they've gone to qualifying now, so we can talk for a few more minutes.
Okay,
buddy, fired up here. Remember, once
I don't have the 88. You didn't have the 88 either, right?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, that's a shame.
Well, while we're in qualifying here, we've I'll put the driver list up again on the screen there.
So we're getting a lot of interaction in the YouTube chat box, man. I hope these guys are in there, rooting for the favorites and stuff. I tried to put out the word as much as I could outside of my notes.
I posted it on Facebook, so
we're trying to get some viewership because like I said, the most important thing to me is that just Cannon not be forgotten. We're going to do this for him once a year, regardless, and we want the family to know, especially and I have to mention Cannon's brothers and sisters. If these guys have just been tremendous over the last few years. They've done things for me. I can remember back that first year they sent me a shark's tooth that they found on the beach, and it had
very cool.
It had some orange in it, and I think it was Ava that said, "Hey, we should give that to that guy that drives Cannon's cars,
to that Brian kid,
because they're orange." Yeah, because it's orange for Cannon. Because Cannon's favorite color was orange. So they sent me. I still have that. I made it into a necklace, and actually, I think it was year before last. Ava, actually, I sent her like a coloring book type of blank race car that she colored and painted up for me and stuff, and we took that and superimposed it onto one of these cars.
Nice.
And I drove that. Yeah, it was really cool. And
Ron did a similar thing. It's pretty sweet to have the kids do the cars.
My daughter,
my
daughter Mackenzie, when she was about 4 years old, watched me paint cars, and she said, "Dad, I want to do one." So she sat on my lap, and I just made a layer, and I said, "What do you want?" And she did that. When we got done, we slapped sponsors a number on it, and I raced that car to a championship and still race that car to this day. So that's cool.
That's very cool. Yeah, it's neat when the kids get involved. I'm so far away from them. It's kind of hard to keep in touch with Bonnie being so busy. But I'll tell you what, she's doing Cannon right. That whole family is doing Cannon right by how they give back to the community and how she's raising those other kids. Carly, Ava, Bryson, and Braylon. Bryson would be Cannon's little brother, and he's Cannon's age now. I believe he just turned 5 or 6. I'm probably going to be corrected on this. I think he's 5 or 6 now. But in just 3 days' time, actually would have been Cannon's 10th birthday. And so we've been doing this, for the last 5 years, and we're going to continue. We just love this kid, and it's a fun way to do it, to honor him. You know what I mean? And that brings me back to this next is qualifying's almost over. We've got it. I'm
just reading the YouTube here. Who is Teresa Welsh? She's dropping some pretty awesome numbers in the YouTube chat here.
Yeah, Teresa Welsh she runs the Ride On Cannon Foundation.
Oh, okay, cool.
Nice.
Sponsored 598 kids at Christmas, 125 families at Thanksgiving, provided 1,120 brand new outfits and 1,114 new pairs of shoes, as well as thousands of new toys at our free Easter event. Stop.
And that is why I wanted them in this event, because to represent that and is Greg Palmer and
Oaks.
Garland Oaks, yeah. And they've got, it's pretty neat to see Teresa and Brittany Cool. You know her, Blaine. She's been around for the last 4 of these too, running those Facebook pages. So
and their names are on some of the cars, like the 67 and the 22, right? I've seen their names across the banners. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly. And that's why they're here, and we're just so proud of that and proud of them, and they're going to be on board with us from now on, and it's just a great thing. Just one more good thing that came out of this tragedy,
People. Lots of people doing lots of cool stuff.
Mercurio on the pole. 36.1. Yeah.
Pretty good little shoe.
So, let's see. Where were we? Let me back this up because
happy hour right now.
Oh, happy hour. Okay. So when there's about 4 minutes, we're going to go into that other video, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit the button.
Okay.
So I can hit the button myself. I'll need you guys to move me.
Take care of that.
Yeah, as soon as, just as soon as, let's see, what was I talking about? Did I miss anybody, Blaine? I want to mention Cannon's immediate family. That were so good to me when I was down there. Both sets of his grandparents, Greg and Wendy Waddell, which would be Bonnie's parents, and then Greg and Stephen Hinnant, another set of Cannon's grandparents from the father's side. These folks were just wonderful. I mean, when I went down south, they treated me like royalty. They invited me into their homes, and we're talking about a vigil for Cannon that was 1 year to the day that I met Cannon's mother. And it was just to see that family and how they interacted firsthand was just tremendous to me. Just good people that didn't deserve this. Nobody deserves this kind of thing. But, I'll talk a little bit about Cannon and his story while we're waiting here for just a minute. Like I said, nobody deserves that kind of stuff. But this happened back in August of 2020. And if you remember, that was when the whole George Floyd thing was happening in this country, and there was a lot of racial divide. This was not a racially motivated crime by any means.
No.
Cannon being a little white kid, and his killer was a male adult felon, black guy. But race had nothing to do with it. That was not the motive. I'm not going to really go into that. Just know that his killer was arrested, convicted, and is now serving life in prison with no chance of parole, no parole at all, ever. Yeah. And the reason that they pled to that was because, they wanted to save the other kids from having to go to trial, because Cannon was murdered right in front of his family, right in front of his sisters. And so in order to protect them from having to go through that again at trial, they agreed to a plea deal for life in prison without parole. But I will say this, that actually gives me a little drop of comfort, knowing that this man will die in prison. He will die in prison. Hopefully it's sooner than later, but he will die in prison. Hopefully not of natural causes, if you know what I mean. So there's that whole thing. And, and that's why we do this. I just so love my relationship with Cannon and his family and putting on this race. And I got to thank all these guys. We're getting down to 6 minutes here. That you said that video is about 4 minutes, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I got to thank all these guys that came together. All these drivers that have supported my racing personally and supported this event and supported Cannon and just really researched it, and really wanted to get involved. All these guys love racing on TV. I do too. I can admit it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. But they see it's a broadcast race. They flock to this stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But these guys are, why they were picked is because how passionate they are about this racing. And how passionate they are about other things in their lives too, like Nate with the ASPCA. A lot of these guys are military people, first responders. They're passionate about what they do and their lives and their families, and they've just been a great group of friends and hard competitors. I mean, I couldn't even guess, take a wild guess at who's going to win this thing tonight. But hopefully it's one of Cannon cars. I think he's rooting for that Hulk car.
There's some good ones out here, man. If anybody's got any picks, definitely throw them down in the YouTube chat there. It's hard to pick though, man, because you put together an all-star race. You pick the best drivers, and a lot of these guys race with each other all the time, so they're very familiar with the styles and whatnot. But yeah,
they've been out here, practicing for quite a while, and I haven't really seen too many mishaps. So I think we're going to see a good one tonight, man. This track is, John made it, so I mean it's fast. Oh, the setup. Let me talk about that. If you look over, I don't know if you can get there or not in time, but you'll see a billboard over that's dedicated to Autry Waits, or Sunday Trip as we called them. And we're using one of his it's over with the ASR billboards. It's in there somewhere. He's got 2 of them actually. But this is an event I think he would have enjoyed. I think he would have really gotten into this. And sadly, we lost him like 4 going on 5 years now. And so what we're doing is we're using his setup, the car setup that he would have used for the Cup Series.
Is it on the back?
That's why it's so good. I played around with it a little bit, practice earlier. I always go in and just try to get a little bit of information and stuff. And that setup is nice.
Yeah, it's opposite of if you want to check out that. It's over there somewhere. It's
Autry
in
Waits, 1942 to 2021.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, we're using his setup. And again, that's kind of our tribute to him. For this race, and we're down to 3 minutes, so go ahead and shoot that video off. We're gonna kick this pig and get going here.
All right then. Well, this video, it stars a lot of people, so guess what? I'll just push the play button and we're gonna watch it, because that's how this works. Okay,
Rod, if you could send me up, I'll give these guys some direction.
Right, good luck.
Send me up. I'll see you later.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you, Brian. Good luck. And we go to the video created by Brian Wolf himself.
From the Balzer family, Alex,
Madison,
and Katerina, we now take you trackside for the playing of our national anthem and invocation from Mr. Bobby Kiger.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're fixing to enjoy a wonderful, wonderful race put together by Brian Wolf and all of his friends who've worked so hard to put this event together. I know they're excited. I know all the drivers are excited, all the behind-the-scenes people, the technical people, videographers, all that's entailed to be able to put this race together. We want to thank you for continuing to care about Cannon Hinnant. Brian, especially you, buddy. You are torchbearer for that child, and I sure appreciate it. Gentlemen, have a great race, and thank you so much for standing in the gap for Cannon. If you would, please join me for today's invocation. Father God in heaven, Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your mercy and grace. We thank you for blessings seen and unseen, blessings known and unknown. Lord, we thank you for all the hard work that's went in for this race today, Lord, to honor the late, wonderful, sweet Cannon Blake Hinnant. All the drivers, thank you for what you do. To all the back scenes people who's helped put all this together, Lord, we thank you for what they do. Gentlemen, are you ready to race?
And now here to perform the American National Anthem, please welcome our Galaxy Social Night Contest winner, the tiny but mighty 7-year-old singer from Los Angeles, Malaya Emma Chandragwijaya.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets
And there you go. Thank you to everybody involved in that little intro movie. We had the Cannon's whole family there at the end with the driver's start your engines command. Of course, we had half the Balzer family there too. They always do it. What is it? Alex Madison
Okay,
and
buddy, fired up here.
Katarina.
Remember, one switch at a time, turning your stuff on.
Bobby Kiger's in there. All kinds of people. Brian put those videos together for me too. It's a super awesome, neat thing for him to do because you know what? Saved me a ton of time.
I was saying we have earlier there. We have Nate Balzer is in the chat.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
glad to hear that he's doing okay. Miss him. He's got to get his butt back in that seat and get out here and show these boys how to get it done.
Yeah,
we know he can. He's a hell of a talent. Like just can't wait for him to get a little better. Maybe next year we'll get him in here, and then, like I said, he'll be there.
So Ron says in the YouTube chat there about 10 minutes ago, "Dear Heavenly Father, please be with all the families."
Blaine, are you seeing everybody okay?
1 second. Hey now. It's an excellent question. The 88 was the only issue.
Okay, so nobody's blinking out or anything. You can see them all?
All looks good.
We'll rip through here.
They're blinking on my screen big time.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. The same thing happened last year. Yeah, the 88 doesn't exist. Unfortunately, we can't see the 88 car. I mean, we can see the 88 car. The problem is we can't see the custom paint scheme that he's supposed to be driving. Green flag is in the air, though, and away we go. I don't know what it is with the core, because the initial core, I mean, for those of you that are listening to us talk technical stuff, the core is what we call, it's a configuration file that sits inside the game itself and controls the connections that we get to the server and to all the other drivers. If the core doesn't sync, then you get some flickering. I tried to join with my stock core and it was horrible. I was only able to stay connected to the server for about 4 seconds. It kicked me out. So then I used the league core, but there seems to be like a Bermuda Triangle on the back straightaway. Anyway, Joshua Mercurio in the 99 Baca car leading lap number 1 here, the 5th annual memorial race here for Ken and Hinnant.
Got the Dinger, ASA Dinger. We're not really sure.
Right behind him.
Right behind him. Not sure what the rest of his name is, but he's right there behind him in that beautiful. I like that color. That's kind of close to the car I run. I don't have much black on mine. A little more purple than green, but I like that car. It's pretty good.
We like to call that obnoxious green. Not lime green. It's a little bit brighter.
Mine is Hemi Challenger green. My go-kart is this year. It's in the sunlight at the front, in the sun, in the clouds. What we had all day in rain, it didn't look so good. We got Iron Man right back there just behind him. Chuck T. I don't know what Chuck T's last name is. Everywhere I've looked down here, you cannot find that.
Some guys hide their names. You know what I mean? Like a lot of guys will have a screen name, but then we can always find it. But if we have to go looking too far, we're assume you want to be anonymous.
That's right. T. Wilson there. I think it's Tim Wilson back there in 4th in the the Miracle Field car there. That's he's doing pretty good. He's just staying in there, staying tight. Right now, it's not so much of wanting to try to get out there and lead as much as you can. You don't want to lose any positions. Try to make sure you keep track of what's going on. I do not know what tire wear is going to be like tonight. I'm not sure what version of Michigan or whether this is, that's, I can tell you it's not Michigan BR because we know they'd be right up next to the wall.
Well, you ran out there and you were running some laps in practice, and you were saying you were getting, I'm being told the fuel window's around 18 laps to a run. You were able to get up over 20?
I think they start out about with 24 gallons of fuel or 24 laps of fuel, but you and I both race long enough. A lot of people that have raced on these online, you can't necessarily go with the number that you get when you first start. It will change based on fuel mileage and where you are running too. I mean, if you're running in a pack, obviously you can save a little bit more. If you're leading the pack, you're not going to save as much.
Dinger to the lead was able to get around Mercurio in that final corner onto the front straight.
I see Chuck T's trying to do the same thing, but I don't know if he's got he didn't have a whole lot of help to do that. It'd be interesting to see how the high groove works here, just because when you come off the corner, you're going to you get more bite and more run off the corner. Down the bottom, you usually get a better run into the corner. So it'd be interesting to see which groove is preferred, by these drivers. This setup will determine a lot of that. And the way the setup is, I really think that it was a really nice setup. I would say probably some drivers would find it a little bit loose off turn 2. Anybody familiar with this track, turn 2 is probably the tightest point of it. But I think the way it was, just a tad loose, and that's exactly what you want here.
And being such a wide track too, like, are you looking at running different lines and maybe saving tires or chewing them up? Like, is there a specific place to save a little bit, or?
And that really depends on the version of the track that's underneath this. This track is fluid, but we know it based as Michigan. Mm-hmm. So there's so many different versions of Michigan, and some of them have different grip levels. If they were running up next to the wall all the way around it, we would be, 100% sure they're running Michigan BR. And one of the Brian Ring tracks that you can run right up next to the wall and save tires big time. The stock Michigan, you're still going to run the bottom because it's going to be the quicker way. As Josh Mercurio down the backstretch gets a good run out of turn 2 and is able to take back the lead.
And I was skating through the field, so we're going to back that up a bit and watch that pass.
Usually I'm kind of, keeping the track of the back of it, but there's a lot of good racing going out there. Kelly Casa's right there currently now in third. Mind you, that changes, if you're going to go in real time, it does. Oh, Josh Mercurio got a little bit loose on the exit of turn 2. Kelly Casa kept the run going. Him getting a little, up there got a little too high, kind of backed everybody up. Kelly Casa just drove right away around him and actually got a really good run.
Yeah, 3, almost 4 wide here. This track's super wide. I mean, you could go almost 6 wide. On the front part, anyway.
Yeah. I'm the kind of guy that likes to be up here watching him try that, not down there.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that going into a turn, but
Gary,
around we go.
Looks like Gary Heiser got a little bit tight, maybe drifted up. It was really close. I'm not going to point the blame on that one, but it was almost looks like, two drivers. I'm going to say a little internet latency that caught them because they weren't even really too close to each other in my screen.
There was actually a couple different accidents there. Looking at this camera angle here, you can see, I'll put it in slow motion. We can see Palmer come around the corner, and you see in the back, Mercurio and Sullins look like they're going around, and the 22 going around up a few rows in front. Don't scratch the paint, boys. Rule number 1.
Right. I didn't see the one behind there. I saw the one up front.
Me neither, yeah. I switched to TV1, and I saw the whole thing going down. Did you want to grab one of these guys and pull them up here to talk?
Who would you like to talk to?
Let's talk to Palmer, since he was one of the reasons we started watching this yellow. Greg Palmer live on Tarnation TV, buddy. You're driving a pretty cool-looking car. It doesn't look too scratched up, though.
Hey, what do you say, Blaine? Repeat that, please.
Just curious. You went around in a circle there, but the car doesn't look too banged up.
We'll give it a shot. Take 4, and I'm sure they're going to use the sledgehammer a couple of times, but I'm still going to race. I'm in this. I'm in it to win it.
If anybody can, I believe in Greg. Hell of a talent behind the wheel there.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm going to give it all I got, man, for Cannon.
That's the thing, man. This is Greg Palmer. Greg with 3 G's. Palmer. Don't do the 2G, Greg.
Good.
The Palmer. But yeah, man, good to see you out here, and that car looks awesome. You and the 67 are going to confuse us a little bit tonight, but, you're in good company.
All right, well, we're going to let you get back at it, buddy. You give them heck.
Yes, definitely. I hope me and the 67 can do you guys proud.
Yeah, man. Well, we're watching, so no pressure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Have a good one, bud.
Thanks to Greg Palmer. Sponsored by all 3 G's. GREEGG.
I was
GREGG.
just keeping track of our, number 79. Not Nate Balls of the Night. Unfortunately, we were hoping he was in there, but good to replace it. Rand McDonald had made his way all the way up to 6th. Lost one position in the pit stop. I didn't see who probably had either beat him in or beat him out. I do note that he was the cart that was pitting just behind him. I believe it was Gary Heiser. I could be wrong on that. Or it was Randy Waugh, but he just had to kind of slow around to get around him a little bit, and that kind of slowed him down on his pit stop. Awesome position.
Well, you know, if this is a Rodney Sullins car, that this driver's suit is going to be completely painted up custom, because Rodney does not skip. Got custom roll bars, custom shoes, custom helmet, custom headrest, custom everything. When he's painting the car, he does not waste any time, does not waste any space. Me, when I do it, the suit just ends up being black. And
or whatever color you painted the car, because that's,
Yeah. And I have an orange pick box with a typo negative logo on the sign that I use for every single car. I have for about 15 years, because I don't ever see my pit guys.
Yeah, I have the same pit sign no matter what pit crew I got. I always have the same pit sign.
I stopped to put my number on it like 10 years ago, because if you get into, I usually race a 72, but as you can see here, Dinger is a 72. So it's like, if I got to change my number to a 73 or a 71, I'm like, well, why am I putting numbers on my pit sign? I could just put a logo on it. My favorite band, typo negative, we'll just put their logo on it. So I just look for my favorite band.
So I always did. I started out with the 31, got to a few leagues where I couldn't run that, ran the 7, ran the 12, ran everything. And then finally decided on the handicap placard, and it's perfect. Never
that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so yours is the handicap placard. That's awesome. I always see it, and I'm like, oh, I wonder who's running that. It makes sense that a man in a wheelchair would probably have that as the signboard. But yeah, it's a smart move. You don't have to redo your pit box every time you make a car.
Nope. I don't know if he did not pit or not. Unfortunately, I didn't pay attention to that. Kelly Cosm, the 00, Cannon Croc's car, camouflage Cannon Croc's car, Chevy SS, is currently our leader.
Only car that did not pit that last time around, Robert Breedlove.
Forget, because I can turn around and click on the thing and it would tell me.
Blaine and Rod, sorry to interrupt. Are you guys seeing the cars okay?
Yes, sir. The only one missing is the 88, but we're all
okay. That's fine. That's fine.
Ryan trying to keep us, making sure we're doing everything and set and good.
He must. I think we're not the only ones having slight core hiccups with the connections, but my connection is strong.
Yeah, mine's working great.
It's just cars. There seems to be a Bermuda Triangle on the back straightaway where they all kind of fade away for a half second.
Yep, and we talked about this last week. I think it was last week. I'm sorry, big busy week for me, but at the LS race, that how Kelly Kaza gets done with that, and he's literally just, and then I bet you Brian feels the same way. He's going to be, but he's still up in the air, still trying to make sure everything's going right. That's why you'll keep hearing the talk to us tonight. But he's just going to be relieved tomorrow. It's going to be a day to just relax, and then start thinking about next year.
That's the thing. Once I find, like, when you're planning an event like this, it's one of those things where it's insane, and then once the green flag goes, you can't do nothing. It's in our hands now, and you just got to drive that car.
But it's so strange though, because it's like, okay, we're gonna start this tomorrow, so we got a year to do this. So they start planning. You start planning. Now you get down to we got 3 months to do this. Who's driving? Or wait a minute. Okay, who are we doing? And then before you know it, you're down to, we got a week. And then it's, oh boy, and then before you know it, they're just, it's I got to get everything. And today, I'm sure he was just racking his brain. And now it's running, it's going, and shortly it'll be over, but it's going to be for a great cause. As the pace car just pulls down pit road, Kelly Kaza is our current leader. Chuck T behind him, T. Wilson, and then Randy Waz made his way up to 4th in a good pit stop. Now you might see something different. The last few races, some of the races we've had up here, they do single file restarts. Admin's dream is what I call it.
Yeah.
You don't have to clear black flags. Yep.
Yeah, Yeah, because the black flags will occur. I mean, they will be cleared, but I mean, somebody on the track who's the race boss has to be able to clear that, and it's hard to do that with one hand when you got to steer with one hand and you got to key it in with the other. Like, they'll have a hotkey to get it started, but they still have to type in the car number, so you got to go hotkey 12, enter. You got to do that with a free hand, depending on the track, especially if it's a short track. If you're at Martinsville, man, it must be a nightmare being an admin at Martinsville.
There was a guy I raced with who had a program, it's like a macro program, that he could literally hit a button and he could go 12, 31, 10, and it would just clear him. So that guy is the one that helped him out the other guy out with that league that I was telling you about, where they don't have to do none of that.
Yep. All computerized.
All done by a program. And I said, you should sell it. And he's like, yes, I should. But I don't want to support it.
Yeah. That's a shame, man. That thing sounds so unique. I've never heard of that because he's the only one who has it. So he built it and he'll go down with it. So
T. Wilson's trying to take over the lead on the bottom side into turn 1 and 2 off of 2. I'm not going to say he's got the lead currently, but he's got 3 cars on the outside. Well, now they just dropped down. So this isn't the big track. You do live for the corners. You have to a little bit. But drafting is important.
It is, yeah.
When you get on that straightaway, if you've got 2 cars that are nose to tail, they are going to go faster than the cars that are out there by themselves.
So in one lap, Todd Wilson went from 3rd to 1st. Big reason being the draft you're talking about.
Big run. He made it work, and as he did, there was 3 cars on the outside, and I thought, well, I don't think this is not probably gonna work, only because the 3 cars on the outside are gonna probably overtake him. But luckily for him, the Chuck T dropped down below Kelly Kozla, which kind of killed that outside momentum, and he was able to keep that momentum going, and was able to get out and take the lead.
And that number 11 of Todd Wilson, sponsored by the Miracle Leagues, Wilson Metro Parks.
I'm kind of you just keep going up there poking around the front, but I'm looking at people we may or may not know that are out in the back there. Ulysses Sandoval.
I figured it out. Chuck Taylor.
Oh, good. There we go. We do have his last name. That's
we do have the driver list from Facebook. I just double checked it. We do have Chuck Taylor. And let me see here. We want to find out what Dinger's name is. Barb Medinger.
Oh, yes.
Also known as...
I saw that earlier.
Dinger.
Just looking down, kind of the people that we know. We've got 4 cars that have retired from the race so far. The 40 of Javier Negron, which is unfortunate for him. The 12 of Gary Mingus, and the 7, which is that nice, cool police car one. Apologize, it's not a normal driver that I deal with, but we're going to have that information. Oh, Postal. We don't have Postal's name.
We might. What's Postal's number?
Let me look.
Postal's number is number 7, so his Nelson Rodriguez.
Ah, that's right.
Wilson County Police Department.
We sound like amateurs.
Oh, yeah, he retired. That's too bad. That was a really cool car.
It was a very cool looking car. Looking back, we've got, I think that's...
We got Randy Waugh floating around in 2nd there in the 21. I bet you Corey's watching this race. Kind of hanging out right there in that top 3, yep. Garland Oaks is a lap down.
Ryan Wolf, the guy that did all the talking earlier to help us out, so we didn't have to. Currently rolling around down back there in 15th. He's just I think he's kind of feeling everybody out there. There's just in front of him, John Godfrey, the guy that he gave a lot of praise to, that did all the work on this track. He did a phenomenal job making this track look the way it did for just this event. I mean, that's what they did it just for this year, just for this event. I would imagine as much as work and time, I think that's probably the same track that they'll use next year. That's they did a great job on it.
And it's weird because I've done a little bit of texture work on tracks, but he's actually added a lot of stuff too that didn't exist in the original track. Like, I don't know how to do any of that.
Neither do I.
And you're also working with legacy software that's literally 25 years old, so it doesn't work the greatest on new computers. You know, you're trying to work with these files. You know, this thing was built so long ago that we're kind of spoiled rotten now with how easy software is to use. You know, like if anybody does video editing, I use DaVinci Resolve. It's free. It's amazing. You can buy it for like $400 one rate, right? Such powerful software. Insane what they can do. But try editing video 20 years ago on a clunky program that, it's tough. You know, it's like you're fighting the software. I can't imagine what John Godfrey had to go through to try to retexture and do all the work that he did here to add all this stuff to the track. I mean, Tarnation TV has a building on the side of this track.
It's a nice looking building.
Very cool. And it's all thanks to John Godfrey racing that 711 right there. But yeah, thanks for fighting with that old software, John, because I'm sure it's not the most forgiving. And stuff back then, too, never had an autosave. So you could get like half an hour into something, and if you forgot to save it and the thing crashed, you'd have to start all over again.
Ed Dion's back there in the 89 Batman car. For a while there, he was just behind John Godfrey, but John Godfrey has kind of started to make his move a little bit. He's working his way towards the front, passed a few cars in the last few laps.
Todd Wilson still holding on to first place. Right there behind him, Chuck Taylor. The 18 car sponsored by Iron Man. I mean, who doesn't love superheroes? Cannon was a big fan.
We recently talked to Greg Palmer on a ride-on Cannon car there. We talked earlier about that. Currently in the 11th position, working his way back towards the front after being involved in the earlier situation. He said they slang the hammers at it. They got it back going, and so far it looks like it's doing well.
Javier Negron in the YouTube chat, unfortunately, he had to retire from the race because he could not see anything on pit road.
Oh, no. That sucks.
Yeah, that might have been a connection issue, maybe. Yeah, I mean, if you're going down pit road and you can't see your pit box, you don't know where to stop.
That's tough.
You know, if every pit box is gone, including your own, where do you go, right?
Dennis McCarthy, the 24 out there on the track, the 025 on the screen, Ramon's Oodle Noodles of Noodles car. I raced with him over at RTG. Haven't been over there for a little while. I had a little bit of an issue with the mod that I was running, killing my frame rates, and then kind of got busy. Great group of guys over there. Dennis is a heck of a driver. We've had a lot of fun trading a little paint with him a little bit, and he's like I said, good shoe. You know, I love racing with him. Miss racing over there at RTG. I got to get back over there and do some more racing with him.
Did he have to quit? Oh, he's the 024. There it is.
Yeah, he's the 024, yeah.
I'm looking for the 24, but he's the 024. So he helped you with, well, look at the speed he's carried into this corner. 210.
Flying.
Man, it clicked to 210 for a quarter second. So far, the fastest lap on the track, currently being held by Ken Roberts in the 55, currently running in 21st. Unfortunately, he's back there. He's still on the lead lap, but he had a 35.9 second lap with 200.296 mile per hour average from, I always say average because the timer would start from the start line and it goes all the way around and it takes another average. So it's your average speed around an entire lap. So they're running in the draft. They're running about 210 into the corners. We can see here.
I'm gonna let you have that. My GNL TV went down when I had just a quick kick out and jump back in, and then I lost it, and I'm not going back out there.
If you need to back out and refire it, you can do that if you want.
Yeah, I know. Bernie Mobb, though, currently in the 31, who painted most of these cars, pretty good percentage of them out there. He's still out there with the car, the End Gun Violence, that looks just like the one that Brian Rolfe was running tonight. He's got the 31 with the old RCR number 31's numbers on it. I like that. That looks pretty cool. It's a sharp-looking rig.
Looks like Kelly Kazi was able to hop the 21 of Randy Waugh for third. We're just watching the battle for second right there between the 00 and the 18.
Now, we've been so busy looking at different cars. That's what I've been doing. Kind of just, I mean, I like to get everybody a little bit of a shout out, but we got to be getting pretty close to
you read my
green
mind.
flag pit stops.
Yep. I'm not sure how hard these guys are going to start racing each other now, because I'm thinking got to be about within the next 5.
Right, and we can only go, we figure roughly maybe 18 to 20 laps. I mean, I did practice, but I didn't do a lot. I didn't do a fuel run. So we're still, if it goes green all the way, we're still on a 2-stop strategy.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, do you go the full 18 laps, which should be, a little, or do you go 15 and come in, get maybe tires, maybe only left side, right side tires. We don't even know how tire wear is going to, whether or not they can come in and take 2, whether they'd be competitive or not.
Yeah, I mean, 2 is a great strategy for track position, but I mean, if you're seeing a lot of wear on the lefts, you might want to get full service.
Yep, you can make that strategy work on a track that doesn't burn up the tires intensely. But you're not going to do that, and you're not going to run a full fuel run on it and possibly try to do another run unless it's like 10 or so laps to go and get an advantage on that. It might be, and it all depends too. So if they take, strategy wise, if you only have got to go 15 laps, now maybe you don't have to take 2 cans, or maybe this time you take 2 cans and you only take half a can, or do you take, maybe per se a can and a half, and then take 2, come out, and then you're gonna have to do 2 stops if it doesn't have another caution. There's so much strategy that could come into play with that.
How often do you mess with cans? I always just take what it recommends.
It depends. It literally will depend on the race that you're running and what the strategy is. So what you can do on fuel, if you are going to try a 2-tire stop, I try to, it's so close. You'd probably want to do a full 4-tire stop now and then do 2 tires. If you're going to take 4 tires, it's going to take you about the same amount of time to take 4 tires as it does fuel. The fuel may hang you up a little bit, so you'd be better off to do that, and then take 2 and then half a can. Literally, you don't mess with it. You'll always take 2 cans until you get near the end of the race.
Right.
That's where you'll start playing strategy. I've seen that bite people sometimes.
Like it'll recommend 2, but you knock it down to a can and a half, but only take 2 tires, and it's lots of track position. But now you're conserving gas, so you're moving a little bit slower. Why not take the extra 2 seconds and get the other half can, and then just run the thing to the floor?
Gonna start seeing pit stops, Blaine.
And we just got the notification that we're going to be seeing pit stops soon. So we knew it was coming around, kind of around here soon. People are going to get down to the point. Now, the interesting, like we said, we were just talking about, is tires. I think you got to take 4 now, and then possibly, take 2 and less fuel. Because 2 tires is, and I think it's about a half a tank of gas, is about the same. Now we're starting to see some of the guys pit. The 2 of the leaders, Kelly Kaza stayed out, Tim Wilson stayed out.
Now you can see there on the graphic, the white line at the top there by that red transport truck, that's the commitment line, but you don't actually have to slow down until you get to the line by the tires further down the track. So it's a nice little racing chute there. You can come off the corner full speed, let that car settle on the flat, and then throw the anchor out and get that thing slowed down.
Talking about maybe 22 laps. Let's see, Kelly Kaza's actually coming down to do the pit along with Josh Mercurio. And I think that was Randy Waugh I saw in the background. I'm sorry,
cars are coming around here now. You can't see them because the ticker's covering them up, but they're going to coming into the pit here. Nope, decided to stay out.
Trying to figure out who is going to come out with a lead out of this.
Mm-hmm.
going to be interesting to see who does.
Yeah, after the cycle, because sometimes you get about a 3-lap cycle where guys will be... And once it all settles down, we'll start getting proper stats. Top left of your screen, I just threw up that little black box. That'll show you who currently, anyway, is in first. It looks like the 7-11 last time by the line. It's just John Godfrey. He's currently on pit road now. So he did get credit for 1 lap. Most laps led so far, Todd Wilson in the 11. He's got 20 laps led on the night, so he's been dominating this thing.
Kelly Kaza was the first one off pit road to from that stop, and then he has Josh Mercurio right behind him. It should be interesting to see where the drivers that pitted the lap before them come out.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find, who's going to end up with the lead here.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. Like, we're 20 laps to the end. Do you think if these guys stretched it, they can
currently in second? And I think when he comes around after John Godfrey is pitted, he is going to be the leader. So that 1 lap earlier pit stop has really gained the top 5 drivers. Were the ones that pitted 1 lap earlier, and they're approximately about 3 seconds, almost 4 seconds ahead of Josh Mercurio and Kelly Kaza. So
McCarthy just took a wallop.
It kind of looks like that earlier pit out there will just that 1 lap on fresher tires gained to about almost 4 seconds.
Now I'm curious though, what is that going to? Are you going to be able to get to the end on that, or maybe not? Because we're within 20 now. Some guys did pit within 20.
It's going to be. I don't think. Like I said, we don't have all the information. They might be able to make the top 5. Might be able to make it. The biggest problem that the top 5 has is they're just started. As I was about to say that, they're not really running nose to tail. We're kind of scattered a little bit. And Mercurio and Kelly Kaza are running, and they're still doing that. Going down the front stretch, down the back stretch, they're staying nice and tight. Going down the front stretch, they're nearly not really trying to do a lot of drafting. They're stepping out a little bit, as it were, I guess. If they could just stay in line. Looks like Mercurio and Kelly Kaza have picked up another driver. And Graham McDonald running the Nate Balzer car for the evening, which will help them out. They need to get they need to get in line and they need to work together. Looks like Gary Heiser is just behind him, so they're kind of starting to form up after the pit stop.
And we went back on the replay there. We checked out McCarthy. The 3 of Heiser slid up the track and got into him. McCarthy got the worst end of that one. He's still running, but he's a lap down.
We talked about fuel mileage. Now, if you're Tim Wilson, you're out front. You're not saving fuel.
No.
If you are the Digger, which is the 5th place car, and Ulysses Sandoval back there, you might have an opportunity. It's just because all 3 cars in front of you are breaking the air for you.
Yeah. Getting more speed on those straightaways. It's better gas mileage because you can lift a little bit, conserve a little bit of fuel. On screen there, you can see our upcoming broadcasts. On Tuesday, we'll be back at the Maverick Cup Series at Talladega at 8:15. And then next Sunday will be a special event at SMO Racing League at Lonesome Pine.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'll be touching base with those guys this week, seeing what they need. But it was on the calendar from a long, long time ago. They booked that race a while back, so that'll be a lot of fun. Stay tuned to the channel if you want to see more stuff.
Chuck T is currently in second, and he's one of the ones that came out behind it. Randy Waugh is actually running pretty good. It's funny to see Randy Waugh in a Chevy. Seen him in a Dodge 9 times out of 10. Then he in a Ford once, and now he's in a Chevy for the special event. That's one thing about this is some guys will drive whatever they're told to drive just for a special event. Ulysses Sandoval's back there in fourth, and he's kind of, I think he's saving a little bit, just my opinion. And he's got the ASA digger right behind him. They're not pressing the issue. They just kind of seem to be following them guys around. So they might be trying to just save a little fuel.
Just put up on the screen your host this evening, and Blaine Donlin, Rod Weston, and Andrew Miller join us on our next broadcast at Talladega. Andrew was supposed to be the third guy tonight, but he was unable to make it, so
Well, I didn't
that's
know if
why
I was going to make it. So
we haven't heard Andrew. Yeah, we weren't sure if Rod was going to make it, so we were going to make this a 3-man broadcast, so we were going to guarantee to end up with 2. So that's why Andrew's name's on there. So yeah, we work with a bunch of different broadcasters to try to fill the holes up sometimes. If guys might be late, there's always got a backup in the wings, and Andrews is usually our guy. I actually saw him pop into the YouTube chat there for a second, but he has disappeared. But anyway, yeah, thanks for the consideration, Andrew. He wasn't able to make it, so.
But some of us out here are real life race car drivers and stuff. So I race go-karts on Sundays. Today was practice day, and next week is our first race. So, sometimes it's hard to get to the track, get everything done, get everything squared away, and get home in time. So,
and our Sunday broadcasts are usually special events. Yeah. League racing's on Tuesdays. That's a weekly thing. Sundays are rare, so we try our best to make it work. I think 76 of Garland Oaks. Save the Kids, right on Cannon Foundation. Currently running in 22nd position. He is a lap down. He is 3 laps down, unfortunately. But he's still doing 200 miles an hour right here. 203 with a little bit of a push. 200 of a push into the wall.
Last car in the lead lap, there's Billy Heiser in the Flintstones Ford Fusion. But if he was to look in his rearview mirror, he doesn't have too far behind him where the leaders are starting to come on him. And of course, they're running yellow.
That will definitely bring out a yellow.
You definitely cursed Garland Oaks, didn't you?
I did.
Yes, you did.
I cursed him. Sorry, we call that the Tarnation TV curse. So we focus on your car. You are going to crash. It is a guarantee. Sorry to the 67 of Garland Oaks, bringing out the yellow with 10 to go. Way to go, me.
Higher the handicap, I'm telling you. So now pretty much. Now the question is, people are going to want tires. So everybody's probably going to come down and take tires and fuel.
Has anybody gambled, though, within 10? I mean, we're not even going green until probably 6 or 7 left.
But the thing of it is there's a really good chance you can make it on fuel if you can.
Mm-hmm. And with only 21 guys in the field, 18 of them being on the lead lap.
Right. So you can make it on fuel. And let's say hypothetically you can make it on fuel. Now, do you want Ulysses Sandoval behind you with new tires?
No.
No.
Wouldn't matter if it was a green flag stop. That's different.
Yeah,
but you don't want him there because he can definitely get it done. And now that we're all tightened up again, it's going to be a lot harder to get away from someone.
So, you think of it this way. You think of probably one of the more aggressive drivers in the league. If you don't want that guy behind you with fresh tires because he's going to go faster than you are. So it's other than anybody that there's no reason for anybody out to stay out and lead a lap. You'll have the lap down cars that are going to possibly have to hit the next time by, and the lead lap cars hitting the next time by.
So currently focused on the 11 coming in first place. Let's see if he's getting rights.
Yeah,
he's getting lefts.
Haven't seen every
He's going to make it out first.
So far they're all taking 4 tires. So tires are that important tonight.
Todd has kept his lead.
It's Todd. I've been saying Tim.
No, yeah, it's Todd. Let me see. Number 11, Todd Wilson.
I apologize to Todd.
We are professional broadcasters, but we can't read that good.
Right. When it says T, sometimes we got to assume.
So Tim Wilson, Todd Wilson, Theodore Wilson, Tyler Wilson.
How is it they always say you don't pay me for my looks, right?
No.
I've got a face
for
made.
dough.
As it goes, I got a face made for broadcasting, right?
Yeah. Todd Wilson with 32 laps led tonight out of 60.
Done pretty well.
He's done fairly okay. Yeah, you're right. So the rest will now come down. These are the 3 cars that are a lap out. They are not allowed to pit the first time around. That is the reason that those guys are now headed down pit road, because pit road is now open for them.
Randy Waugh currently in second in a Chevy. So do you think if he wins this thing that he'll convert to Chevy?
Ooh, I wonder. Yeah, because he's a Ford guy, right?
Right. Well, Dodge. Always in Dodge.
Dodge, okay.
Always in Crimson Tide Dodge. Tell him, Corey. If he wins this, Corey, you got to tell him he's got to run Chevy. Josh Vaquero, 33. 99, sorry. And then Harley Davidson in third. God, I got to get it right here. Whew. We're used to seeing him in a Cadillac.
Brian Wolf live on the air. You got me, buddy? We're just reaching out to Brian on the Whisper.
I got you now on Whisper.
On Whisper, correct, sir. Front live from the track. So far, so good, man. This race has been phenomenal.
Yeah, I just had a bit of bad luck there and kind of went end over end, but
yeah,
I thought we were racing back. I told them to race back, and we weren't under 10 yet, so I gave them all the old, my bad. I'm going to give them all the wave around, so make it a race here at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I've got engine damage. I don't think I'm going to go anywhere, but I'm glad to see who's up front is up there.
Yeah, man, it's been a race, and Todd is dominating this thing.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'd love to see that. I want to see one of Cannon's cars in Victory Lane for once. It looks like we've got Todd Wilson, Randy Mercurio, Chuck's up there, and the Iron Man. So one of those guys should get it.
Awesome, Brian. Thanks for taking the time. We'll let you get back at it.
All right, buddy. Yeah, thanks. I've got about 5 other whispers going, but thanks everybody for coming out, being in the chat box and rooting for us. Just want to say I love you guys and thanks for coming out.
I got to say hi to Mackenzie. I just see that she's posted in there saying hi to Dad.
Let me know when the lights go off. I totally forgot to replay that accident. Because it ended up taking. See, that's the problem. It's in that Bermuda Triangle section on the back.
Blaine, we're going to do the infield thing too after the checkers. Don't forget.
Yep, roger that.
Okay.
We're rolling down the back.
It's right in that area where we can't. Unfortunately, I can't get a replay from there. I don't know why. I think the same thing, if I recall, happened last year. I don't know what happens, but.
Some of the camera views on these tracks are just in really weird spots, and that's why you.
It's not even the camera angles. It's something to do with the internet connection where cars disappear for like 100 feet, and if something happens right in that section, it seems I can't really focus on it because everybody kind of blips in and out. It's strange. I don't know why. It only happens to me sometimes.
Getting ready to go, Green. The pace car's still out on the track. Going to be going down to turn 4 here pretty soon. Todd Wilson is your current leader. Randy Waugh, Josh Mercurio, and Chuck T, and Ulysses Sandoval, and Kelly Kaza. Now it's interesting to see. And then the innate Balzer driven car tonight by Graham McDonald, currently in 7th, and then 8th is the 72. Back green. It'd be interesting to see if anybody has something for Todd Wilson. Saying it right now.
Yep, Todd Wilson. He's definitely the one to beat. He's got 35 laps led right now, probably about 36 actually.
Randy Waugh got a good run off turn 2. Ended up getting to the high side of him. Josh,
I don't know if that's his line though. Yeah.
No, I said he got a good run, but you've got to Josh Perio didn't kind of really stay behind him and push him. If he had, I still don't know if they could have. I think to get into the corner, you kind of need that bottom groove.
I tend to see Randy running the low line a lot too, so being up there maybe. I mean, this track's completely different, obviously, but
back under yellow, I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
An advantage for Todd Wilson just because now we're going to run 3 laps down here. Yes and no. I mean, it's going to business going to pick up because now you're going to have a lot less laps to do it. You're going to want to get a little aggressive and try to get up there and see what you can do with it.
Yeah, just trying to find the moment of caution here. I came pretty quick after the green flag.
Just noticed something. I don't think we have a Dodge in the field tonight.
No, I'm not showing one. I'm just trying to see the moment of caution here, see if I can find out why. I don't see a reason.
It's that French caution, that debris.
The cheese.
So who's in the back that needed a caution?
Yeah,
and the roll cage material pulled a Robbie Gordon and threw roll cage padding out the door.
Yeah. Oh, did he do that? That's awesome.
Did that at Loudon, yeah. Needed a caution, leaders were catching him, reached over, pulled off some of the roll cage padding, threw it out the door.
If you're wondering, I forgot to put this screen up at the start of the race, the End Gun Violence 120. This is the Fluid Raceway track based on Michigan, and this mod is the Gen 6 2015 Cup mod by the Bull Ring. This screen usually appears at the start of the broadcast, as this is stuff you probably need to know before the race started. But if you're wondering what cars we're looking at, it's the Bull Ring 2015 Generation 6. Very
which
cool.
Is what they basically, the COT cars, which is Car of Tomorrow cars, after they took the stupid wings off.
They had them jacked up weird. Yeah.
It worked great until the car went backwards.
Oh, so this is basically the same design. They just put that spoiler back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They put the wing on it. They did they were trying something and it didn't work out very well. Mm-hmm. The biggest problem with it is once the car got backwards, the wing no longer provided downforce; it provided upforce. So,
not fun.
It lasted a year. It didn't last very well.
Car of Tomorrow lasted exactly 1 season.
Well, they still use the same car. And then nowadays, they don't even run that car. I mean, now it's just basically a road course car that, independent suspension, 1 lug nut.
5-speed.
6-speed.
Is it 6-speed now?
Or 5? Yeah, you're right. 5-speed. Yep.
Oh, okay.
And they shift more than ever. I don't know. I quit watching it.
Yeah, I haven't watched NASCAR in a little while. Currently focused on the 31 there. Bernie Mobbs, man responsible for painting a lot of these cars.
Yeah, they're great job a lot of these cars.
Had Dion there in the 89. Greg Palmer behind him in the 12. Black flag being shown to Brian Wolf.
So now, we're still under caution here. Go through the top 10. Pick a sentimental favorite. Who do you think out of that top 10 would you like to see come up through there and win this? Got my pick.
I mean, Todd's going to be tough to beat, especially. I'm
not saying that he can be beat. I'm saying if you had to go through the field, the top 10, who'd you pick to win this? Who would you like to see the sentimental favorite come up through there and win?
I'm taking the 79 Graham McDonald.
Yeah, right there, absolutely.
Yeah,
same one I had.
Yeah,
same one I had. I would root for Graham McDonald to win all this for Nate Balzer. That would be, to me, that would be awesome.
That's great on both ends. He's driving Nate's car, but Graham's always there, and he does win. But to win a big special event like this would be super cool.
It would be very cool to see. So we're thinking alike. That's not a bad thing.
Lights go out, I hope, right here. Come on, yellow car. Shut those lights off. Gosh darn it. Thank you.
And the lights are off. Here we go.
Wow. So we're going to get a one-lapper. No more flags to end this race except for the checkers.
So now we've just picked Graham McDonald, hopefully to win this, and he is currently back in, I think, the 7th position.
Correct.
Now, one-lap shootout. The opportunity's there. Has Graham got the car to go up there and contend with Todd straight up? Maybe not. But anything can happen. All he's got to do is wait for the seas to part and drive right through there, and he could win this for Nate Balzer tonight.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if somebody misfired and pulled out a yellow for some reason. I don't know why that yellow came out. I couldn't find out why. Some of the cars are blinking, though, so maybe that's why. Maybe somebody got into somebody. I didn't see it.
Rolling down the backstretch. The green-white checkered. This is going to be an interesting finish. We've got our bets, but quick like on the chat. Post your bets. Who's going to win this?
Todd Wilson, Randy Waugh, and Josh Mercurio are your top 3. Next flag is the white one, which means we got one more to go. Thanks very much for watching this broadcast. We've got a few hundred hits on this thing tonight. It's always so cool. Everybody comes out to watch this thing, so stay tuned after the race. Of course, we got post-race festivities. Talking to the winners, and Brian will wrap it up.
Oh, Randy Waugh spun the tires.
Yeah.
That kind of took the wind out of his sails. Josh Mercurio got a really good run.
He did.
Tuck T down at the bottom underneath Randy Waugh. That spin of the tires really killed the momentum for him. He ain't giving up, though. He is coming hard. Let's see if Josh Mercurio can get his nose down here, though.
Oh, no.
Look. Todd put the block to him. Got to do that. That's what you got to do. You got to look at that rear view mirror.
Yep. Mercurio had a really good run, and Todd didn't even give him a chance to look for it.
Nope.
There it is.
Winner, Todd Wilson. That's awesome run.
Yellow did come out again, but that does not matter. The yellow and the checker up at the same time.
Randy Waugh ended up with 3rd, so that weren't too bad. He spun the tires a little bit there, but he still ended up with 3rd. We're going to get him up here in a little bit for an interview. Kaza, Chuck T, Graham McDonald, quote unquote, or AKA Nate Balzer, 6th. U-Man in 7th. Gary Heiser in 3rd. And the Dinger, Matt Holt, comes out too and finishes out in the top 10.
Yep, I see everybody giving a little bumps here. Congratulations on your win, Todd Wilson.
I understand they have something planned special for the end of this, so let's see if that happens out.
They're all going to line up. He's got to do a little burnout first.
Got to roast them time. Heck of a run. Brian will be pretty happy that car won. I know I don't think he'd be disappointed on who won tonight. Basically, we all won for watching this and seeing such a great event going on. Like I said, 5th year running.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that absolutely at all.
So all the boys were going to line up here on the field here. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pick them all up with the weird issues we've been having with the cars blinking in and out. But we will do our best. You can see what they're trying to do.
Same thing that you got cars occasionally blinking out, blinking in. Just a little tribute to Cannon, though.
Yeah, now everybody is parked around here right now. We just are unable to see some of them. I'll try to see if I can get around here, maybe get some of these other cars to pop in here, but awesome event. Fantastic show by everybody involved. Let's go underneath.
Great job.
We can go wherever we want here.
There you go. Go to
Yeah, and John Godfrey is the reason for putting this whole thing
Excellent
together.
job on the track.
Yeah.
Excellent job. Great tribute to Cannon.
And with no wind today, the American flag will not move.
Trying to say that you took the one that they used on the moon.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I can't get more cars to appear on here, but trying different combinations of cameras off screen here, but they're all out here having a little spinorama. Still cool. Very, very cool.
See if we can get some people up here to talk to us. Third place finisher tonight. Little spin of the tires there on that last restart, but you still ended up holding on and finishing third for the night. Randy Waugh, hey Corey, how was your night, bud?
Hey, it's pretty good. Man, I just hate that last caution came out because I think I was getting ready to pass Todd. But Todd's a great driver. Yeah, I spun my tires on that last one. Darn it, first time all night. Lost a couple spots, got one of them back, thank goodness. But yeah, it's been a fun race, man.
You're not there at the beginning, but you kind of were in and out there. You had a couple good pit stops that got you up there near the front, and then, like I said, near the end of you were in second place, and we really thought you had a great chance of winning that. And then I was thinking you were going to get down there and try to pull it off. And when you saw you spin the tires, I was like, that's going to hurt him. I thought you were going to go even further back, but you did a great drive in a Chevrolet tonight. Now that's something we don't see you normally in a Chevy. Does that mean we figured that maybe if you won tonight that you might convert over to Chevy?
Oh, I don't know. I used to be a Chevy person until I got my Dodge now, and now I'm a Dodge person. But growing up, I was always a GM person.
I just have to pick on you about that. I know we've seen you run Ford occasionally at a couple of different leagues that we've done broadcasts with you, and so it's always to me kind of one of those things I got to poke you at because you didn't have your Dodge tonight.
Yeah, I ran the same car last year, and I think I originally painted it, and I don't think I had a template for a Dodge at that time. And then this year, Bernie painted it for me again and put the white letters on it because I had red letters and they didn't show up very well. So I don't thank Bernie for that.
And the privilege as it is to be, asked to come and race this race. I've raced with you quite a bit, off and on. We've done a little bit of the team races and stuff like that. And you had a really good night. I didn't know you as to be that strong at the Michigan track, but the setup that they run tonight seemed to work really good for you, other than spinning the tires. I'm sorry I have to keep saying that, but you really, all in all, had a great one.
Yeah, Archie Waits, I think, made this setup. It was a really good setup. It felt comfortable all night long. I mean, I almost spun out one time in turn 4, and then another time I got down the apron, but I kind of laid back a little bit trying to save my tires, and I had a long run car. Toward the end, I'd start catching up to them, but that last run, I just gave it all I had, and I didn't care about the tires, so
there you go.
I just wish I hadn't spun them.
That happens. So we're going to give you the opportunity to thank anybody you want. We know that Corey is going to be part of that, so the floor is your buddies. Have at it.
I appreciate it. I want to thank Tarnation TV and you and Blaine for putting this on. Thank Brian for all the hard work he did on this, and and I'm honored that he invited me. I've raced 3 of these already, and I really love it. I want to thank my sons and grandkids, my son Christian, and of course Corey, and then my grandsons Adrian, Asher, and Asa. I'm just thankful to be in this race. It's always feels good when somebody invites you and they want you to race. So it's a great honor to me to race in this race, and it's a lot of fun.
There you go. There's our 3rd place. Oh, go ahead, Brian. Lit up, but nobody's home.
My bad. Sorry about that, guys. I've been making so many mistakes tonight. Just wanted to thank Randy for coming, man. I heard what you said, and it's always an honor to have you here. And it's great to see. Where'd you come up 3rd? 3rd,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so it's good to see one of Cannon's favorites up there in the top 3, man. He loved his Spider-Man, so that's really cool.
Yeah, Rod will explain it to you. I spun the tires on that last takeoff, and cost me a spot. But
yeah.
But yeah, thank you, Brian, for inviting me.
No trouble.
I enjoyed it. And I got to do a shout out to Corey. Corey, we got a podium.
There you go. All right, 2nd place, Blaine. You back in here yet, or you?
Oh, I'm in here. I'm just doing post-race stuff, yeah.
I know you are.
Let it rip.
2nd place finisher, Josh Mercurio. Yeah, not driving a Cadillac tonight, which I've been picking on everybody for what they're not driving. Good night. You ran up front most of the night, really. You were right there. A few pit stops got you kind of back when people did different strategies and such, but took advantage of Randy Wassman and the tires at the end and got yourself a 2nd place finish. How was your night?
Yeah, it was definitely an up and down night. I put it on pole by about half a tenth, which was pretty awesome.
That's right.
I was really excited about that. And then got a little too aggressive battling with ASR somebody
Dinger.
at the beginning of the 1st run of the night, and
The dinger.
Clipped the apron and got way back up in traffic, and so that was sort of our first setback of the night, and then battled through on that long run and came out just about half a second too far out of the draft, so we probably were not going to catch those guys if we did go green to the end, and then caught a lucky caution, and all of a sudden it was we were all back in the fight, and we got that caution right there at the end, and so one lap, it's tough to make something happen with one lap, but Todd thanked me for not wrecking him at the end, so I think he owes me next time.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, no, I was just kind of giggling. I'm glad Josh was here tonight, man. He kind of came up, not last minute, but last couple of days, and I needed a driver for that Harley car, man. That thing is so sharp. I had to have that car in this race, and I'm glad Joshua put it up there in 2nd place. It's an awesome job, man.
Yeah, I gotta thank the guys that painted it. It is a beautiful looking Chevy, and it is sad to step away from the Battle-Ack, the new name I have for it, but yeah, I love doing this race. I love being thought of for these kind of events, and it's a real honor to be thought of for stuff like this.
Oh, absolutely. And you did, like I said, you ran a great race. You got the advantage there on the end of it, and I know what you're talking about there. Under the caution, the pit stops there, Todd and about 5 other drivers pitted 1 lap earlier than you, and the advantages they made up on you guys was so much. Guys were trying to form together. You got Gary Heise a little bit for there, and I believe it was Chuck T maybe at the time, and it was going to be hard for you guys to catch the 5 cars that were running in front of you, and like you said, the caution came out perfectly timed to get you right up there and brought you into a 2nd place finish. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was definitely a rough time. I think we had Kelly Causey and one other Rod or somebody, and we were just outside that 3-second window, and so I was just burning up my stuff, trying to stay close enough to where maybe we could catch the draft and get lucky and make back, but I think we didn't really have a shot there if it went green.
Blaine, Brian, you got anything more you want to add to him? If not, we're going to give him the floor and let him thank his sponsors and the people that got him here tonight.
Yeah, let her rip. Josh, thanks again for coming, man. Be prepared for next year. You can either keep that car for next year or come up with something, but be prepared for next year, man. We'll have you back.
It's good luck. I'm going to be in this car next year again.
Yep. Yeah. All these guys need to save their cars for next year because we're already have thoughts for it.
Awesome.
Good job tonight, buddy.
Well, I think if I have to thank anybody, I got to thank Garland Oaks for putting my name out there, mentioning me and recommending me to Brian for this race. Raced with him a lot. The Team Wrecking Ball guys, really awesome crew. We race a couple times a week. Normally I race with NNSCRA. We don't have any leagues going at the moment, but I'm sure somebody's going to start something on maybe a Wednesday or a Thursday coming up here soon. So go check us out on Facebook. We race every once in a while. Besides that, obviously thank Brian and all the people that put on this event. All the painting, all of the designing in NR 2003 to put on this stuff is sometimes underappreciated. But yeah, obviously a lot of work that went into this, and then it's for a great cause. Obviously, I think as Americans we are somewhat changing our opinions on these things, and I think there is a real concerted effort in the community to stop gun violence. And so to take part in an event like this where we are voicing our concern and our support for this cause is really important to have. And so yeah, thank you, Brian, for turning all of our thoughts to something as important as this.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate all those kind words, man. That's why we do it, just to remember Cannon. And, it's too much. Just like the hashtag says, enough. We've had enough. It's time to end this stuff. And I don't want to take up too much of these guys' time. I've been talking for hours.
Great
job tonight, man. We'll see you next year.
Yes, thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Josh. Good to see you, buddy. Todd Wilson in the house, the winner of the event tonight, man. Congratulations on getting that car to victory lane. It matches a few signs around the truck, which is always cool to see, too.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was just an incredible night tonight, racing for a very special reason. And this 11 car, the Miracle League of Wilson, what everything that we had on the car, it was just on rails all night long. Once we got into some clean air, and we survived some pretty frantic restarts there at the end, and found a way to prevail at the end of the night.
Leading 41 laps out of 60 is not bad at all. You really had a great car all night. Like I said, up front most of the night, you kind of had to drop back sometimes, just depending on where pit strategy and whatever played into it, but didn't slow you down much. You got right back out there out front, got that car right out in the winters, and you did a great job tonight.
Yeah, there were a lot of really good drivers in here tonight, and if you made one small mistake, like even if you missed your line, just an inch, there would be someone that would be back, behind you that could possibly capitalize. So, it just put heavy emphasis on, making sure that, you were hitting your marks, you were not overdriving the corners, that you were taking care of your equipment, taking care of the tires. And, I messed up a couple of times, but it didn't cost us the lead. But my goodness, there was so many good cars out there tonight, and to be able to win this event is just so special and near and dear to my heart.
Ryan, you guys anything for or Blaine?
Yeah, I was going to say with the pit stops, the way they were falling, we weren't sure after. I mean, the yellow came out near the end, so it kind of let everybody pit for tires. Were you going to be able to make it from with about 20 to go when you pitted?
Yeah, you're talking about on fuel?
Yeah, the fuel, the tires, was everything going to last? Or did you have to make a last minute kind of deal? Because that's kind of the window, right? Right around 18 to 20.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's a very good question. Yes, so the answer is yes to on the tires part. Almost didn't make it on the fuel part. I was having to lift a little bit going into the corners, but I was fluctuating between 1 to 2 laps to the good. But still, with the speeds that we were running here tonight, I mean, we were already at 200 miles per hour crossing the start-finish line, and obviously, when you're running that fast and when you're in the draft, you're going faster, you're burning more fuel. So, So that was definitely a consideration in my mind as well. But it would have been close, but I think we would have been good on both fuel and tires there at the end. Had it stayed green.
Right. That's awesome. Hey, Brian, you still around?
Oh yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, I'm just listening.
Take her away, buddy.
Oh, okay, yeah, Todd. We could not have storybooked this race tonight any better than that. The only thing that would have made this race better for me personally would have been to win it. but to have you in that car and having Cannon's ball field a part of this track that we dedicated to him is huge. I mean, it was just storybook perfect. I'm so proud, man, to have you in that car and to win it. It's just I'm darn near speechless, because I mean it's moments like this that made the last 8-9 months of prep worth it. You know what I mean? And it's I'm just so proud, man. I'm just so proud of all these guys. Everybody, like I tried to say before, there's so many components that have to go into this to make this happen all at once. And if one of those components falls off or falls out, then it's just not the same. But tonight was just absolutely perfect. I hated to kind of see Nelson go over the fence at that one point, but in the police car, I saw him go up. He actually cleared the fence, which was kind of heartbreaking. But and some of these guys, including me, I did a cartwheel at one point too, and just couldn't finish it. But man, tremendous job, great win. This one is definitely going in the books. We're going to upgrade this track, and you're getting a billboard, another one next year. So, man, thank you so much for that performance and for the dedications and everything. It was just tremendous. Like I said, we couldn't have storybooked it any more perfect.
Yeah, well, Brian, I can't thank you enough for the amount of tremendous and awesome work that you did for this event. I mean, the folks that are sitting at home watching this event tonight have no idea the amount of hard work that went in planning, and just everything, that all the small intricate details that went in to make this such an awesome event. I mean, people have no idea how hard you work on that. So I must acknowledge that and thank you for that. And thank you so much for the invitation to come out here tonight to race in this very special race. And to that point, I just want to say that tonight is bigger than a finish line. It's about remembering Cannon, a life taken far too soon, and then reminding ourselves of the importance of community, compassion, and resilience. And, with all of that said, again, I'm honored to race in his memory tonight and to support the incredible work of the Miracle League of Wilson, North Carolina on the car. That is one of my most favorite paint schemes that I have ever ran on track. And able to get that paint scheme in Victory Lane, representing such a great organization like the Miracle League, and particularly the Miracle League of Wilson, is beyond incredible. It's just a privilege to shine a light on causes that lift others up, especially when we're reminded, of how precious and fragile life can be.
Absolutely, man. I have no idea how to follow that.
No, me neither.
I have no idea how to follow that. I mean, we can banter a little bit. He was talking about the all the hard work that goes into this, and I touched on all the components that go into it. Like, Bernie Mobbs painted 20 of these cars probably. The other painters, John Godfrey, the creator, who edited the track. You guys just showing up and racing in the right cars at the right time and getting all these things to come together. If one of those components falls off, then this doesn't happen. So, I mean, it's not just my hard work, it's everybody involved, you know what I mean? And all these folks that showed up to watch the race and, spreading the word about, about the event and ending gun violence and stuff. It's about spreading awareness and remembering Cannon at the same time. And he's the one that, I really have to thank for all this, and his family, being such a tremendous conduit for me to get to know him and have a relationship with Cannon. And I don't know what he would say in this moment in time, But I just want to say how much I love that kid, and we're going to keep doing this. It's going to be even bigger next year. And Todd, hang on to that car because you'll be back in it next year.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say we're going to turn it to Todd to thank the sponsors and everything, but I think he pretty much got that covered for us.
Yeah, go ahead.
Todd. Sorry, Tim. I've called you Tim over most of the night. I do apologize for that. Just
okay.
T. Wilson and I kind of messed it up.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you guys off, but I did want to say one funny thing. Blaine told me earlier, he goes, in the next 2 hours, you're going to get probably 20 texts saying, how do I get the cars? How do I get the track? How do I get you to do this? And he was right. I mean, it happened. I had one guy come in here. I won't mention any names. The broadcast went live at 7:30. And at 7:15, I got guys in here asking me, what's the mod? What mod is this?
So I have a question.
Guys, come on, please, will you get it together, man?
I have a question, Brian, though. You had 25 drivers in here tonight. I know you don't want a ridiculous amount of cars that, because you know what happens. The more people you add, the more caution fishes you usually get. But 25 cars, do you think you could probably, or would you ever thought about maybe just bringing that number up a little bit and getting, maybe a few more drivers? You look at the list. The who's of drivers that I know. Some of these guys I don't know, but everybody here, tonight's my first night meeting Todd. But excellent driver. You know what I mean?
Good Lord.
You really had a great group, but have you ever thought maybe opening up just a few more drivers and talking to some people and maybe getting a few, just maybe up to 30?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. We probably will go 30 next year, and maybe I can explain this a little bit now that. Like I said, I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time, but however, every driver in here was handpicked by me because I've raced with all of these guys over the last few years at least. Some of them I've raced with over the last 15 to 20 years. So they've really become good, close friends, on and off the track. Really saw me through my health issues this last year, especially David Shin and Cannon's aunt and uncle Ellie and his family, really saw me through and prayed for me and all this stuff. But it's like the passion that Todd has for this. That's why he was picked, because he has a passion, not just for the racing, but for these good causes and, good community things. And that's the people that I want around me. I heard a quote one time, I don't know who said it, but to be successful, you have to surround yourself with the best people. And that's what I try to do. These, whether they know Cannon or not, these guys have been great racers, number one. And number two, they've been really just great friends of mine. Guys that I trust on the track and off the track. So, and then putting certain drivers in certain cars that are components of this, like Todd Wilson in that Miracle Leagues. I don't know what really prompted me to choose him last year for that car, but I'm just so glad I did. I mean, it wasn't really a dart throw. I wanted a great racer in that car, and look, he finished second last year, and tonight he won. So that's the type of people I want in this event.
What leagues do you run, Todd? Are you constant to one group of people, or what are you up to?
Yeah, I've raced here at ASR All-Star Racing, the All-Star Racing League for going on probably 10 years.
Wow.
Or so. Yeah, so that's been primarily, I've raced off and on at other places. I've ran some at Maverick as well, but primarily my main home has been here at All-Star Racing, and like I said, it's hard to believe, but it's been almost 10 years.
You look at the list of drivers that you have there. Now you've got drivers like Tom. Todd. Right? I'm going to call you Todd now. Okay, but anyway, my point being is the list that you've got there. You have different drivers. You don't have 25 drivers that are all probably going to go out and win this. You know what I mean? You have some drivers that are a little bit slower, maybe not, but they all race very well together. And that's what makes it really cool, is you've got drivers that just respect each other and race really well together. That to me is awesome. And like I said, find a few more maybe. Let's get some, a few more drivers out there. We can talk about them,
That's the secret sauce. It's just getting a good group.
But see, because if you get the same guys all the time, I'll end up saying their name right. So,
right.
Yeah, but I don't know. Just to put a cap on it, though, Todd, I'm just so proud of you, man. I'm so proud of this race and everybody that contributed and everything. I'm just so darn proud. I mean, I'm filled with pride right now. It's moments like this I just can't put it into words. You know, it's finally here in these moments. I'll never forget these moments ever. You know what I mean? And I've always felt like racing for a good cause of some sort or another. And then I met Cannon and kind of incorporated him into my race teams, and then his family reached out to me, and it just escalated from there. And now look where we're at here 5 years later, 5 short years later, I should say. You know, I was kind of ribbing Blaine and Rod earlier about, you know, look where I'm at now. 5 years ago, I was on the outside looking in, ready to retire from this game. I wasn't winning. I wasn't doing really anything. And then Cannon turned it all around for me. Now I have my own track. I have a place that I call home to have this event. And I've got good friends surrounding me that I've surrounded myself with, actually. And it all has just paid off. It's just moments like this that make it all worthwhile.
Absolutely. The fruits of the labor.
Absolutely. And we have guys coming in at 7:15 saying, what mod are we in? You know, that
those are people to consider for next year. But the thing about it is, we always joke around about this, like with the LS. We do a couple of these things, and it's like, you know, tomorrow or tonight, and you know, in a little bit, you're just going to breathe a sigh of relief. It's over. It went well. It's done. And then I know darn well, in about an hour and a half, you're going to, okay, who are we inviting next year? You know?
Exactly. Yeah, that'll be in my mind actually all next week. But one last thing I want to close with is I just want to give a great big shout out and thank you, and we love you, to Bonnie Parker, Lee Parker, Carly, Ava, Bryson, Braylon, Ellie, Archie, Stephen and Gwen, Greg and Wendy, you know, Cannon's immediate family. We love you guys. We're constantly thinking about you. We're going to do it again next year. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure Cannon did. I know he's looking down and smiling and just ear to ear and just having a ball.
Yeah, man. And thanks again for having us, dude. And again for ASR.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, thank you guys too.
Entire thing, and with all the facilities, the team speak, the track, the servers, the, you know, access to all this stuff for us to do this. I mean, if we didn't have a venue, we couldn't do it. So for the fact that ASR just was like, yeah, man, use our stuff and let you do whatever we had to do, and gave us all permissions to control team speak, and yeah, very, very, very cool.
Yeah, it's always fun. Thank you guys too, Blaine. You know, I know you're always on board with this event, and you know, like I told you before, I wish I had some bucks to throw at you, but you said these special events are always cost-free, so I appreciate your guys' time, all the hard work you put into making these screens and these little videos and, you know, and stuff like that. Without you guys, this doesn't happen. You know what I mean? That's one of the biggest components. You guys add such a cool element to our hobby, you know what I mean, to be able to put this on TV like we're racing on TV, you know what I mean? That's why I think guys really, really like this. They like the recognition and stuff like that. So we try to touch on everybody, and thank you guys. I can't thank you enough, and I'm already excited for next year.
Yeah, man, we'll definitely do it again.
I'm going to let you go out. I'm going to say congratulations to Todd one more time. I'll be in touch with you probably this week. And I'm going to let you guys close it out. Do what you got to do.
Cool. Yeah,
thanks everybody for showing up and watching.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll kick you guys out of here. Rod and I will wrap this thing up.
Congratulations, Todd and Brian. Great job. Good run. Glad to do that. I'm looking forward to next year.
Yeah, same thing. Thanks a lot, Brian. Thanks a lot, Todd. Awesome race,
thank you so much, guys.
Good night, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Well, there it is. Another successful special event. Yeah.
We can get a word in edgewise. No, he did a great job. It's his event. He did awesome, and he made it so much easier for us. We don't have to explain a lot because he's definitely knowledgeable about what this is, and it was fun.
You were saying at the start of the race there, it's like all we did was start the race. Hey, I'm Blaine and I'm Rod. Here's Brian and he's going to do a race. And then he held it for 40 minutes, and then we called the
we had
live
to
race.
he had to go. I need a break. It was funny. Yeah. Oh, it's awesome event. Great.
Yeah, for him to put together the video packages for me too. Like I usually end up doing stuff like that, so I could focus elsewhere and redo a lot of these loops you're seeing in behind the scenes here and different intros. And he was working on other stuff, and it all comes together.
You didn't catch me nudging. You want more drivers. Like I mean, Michigan. I'll race Michigan.
Yeah.
I would. Great. I'd love to be out there doing that, but I'd rather be up here doing what we did tonight. It's, to me, I love racing it. A great track. I would love to be out there with them, but we're safer up here, I think.
Yeah, this is where it happens, man. We make a good team, and it's always super fun to do this.
Now, of course, if they decide next year they're going to do it at Martinsville, I'm
Different
sorry, you're going to have to go get hold of Andrew. You're going to have to get somebody, because I'm going to be out there on the track.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we do some short flat tracks. Rod's all over it.
Yeah, I'm all over that.
Well, all right, man. Thanks again to ASR for hosting this thing, and thanks for Brian for putting it all together. Thanks to all the drivers for showing up, everybody on YouTube for watching, interacting, and yeah, man. Thanks, Rod, again for doing whatever you had to do to get here to make it happen.
Busy day, but I'm here.
Busy day, but yeah, we've been we're about 2.5 hours in. Perfect time to head to bed and go to work tomorrow.
We've done longer ones.
We do, yes. Make sure to join us on Tuesday. We run 96 laps at Talladega over at Maverick. We're running regular.
Sonoma's after that, right? Yep. I'm looking forward to the Sonoma race.
Sonoma will be a lot of fun.
Yep.
So yeah, follow us for a Tuesday race, and the next Sunday we're running at SMO. The Tuesday after that we're back at Maverick. So yeah, every Tuesday night we're at Maverick. Join us over there, a different track every week. And it should be fun. Talladega, the big track, 96 laps, and we're running 1X, which means we're running realistic tire and fuel burn. So we're probably going to see some different stuff. That'll be kind of neat. Long runs.
That makes it harder. It's like, I'm just going to state the fact, we've run 2X, 3X, and you do maybe 20 laps. Then if it goes green, you got to pit. You get that moment where you could take a break. When you're running 1X, you don't. Yeah. You're 40, just go. So it's just crazy.
Yeah, it should be fun to see what happens on Tuesday. But again, thanks for watching the 5th annual Canon Hinnant Memorial, the End Gun Violence 120. Maybe they'll put more laps on it next year, or maybe they'll take some laps off it. Usually it's 100, 120 miles, so it just depends on what they want to run. But it's always a very successful event. So thanks again to everybody involved in making this thing happen. And Rod and I are probably going to go have something to eat and go to work tomorrow. That's what we do.
He's got to work tomorrow. I got a go-kart to unload, and so I got to get...
Oh, you still got stuff to do tonight then.
Oh, yeah. Busy day tomorrow.
All right, then. Well, thanks as always, Rod, for coming in and helping me do this thing. And if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.